Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Stellaris Inward Perfection. I'm your host, Colored Fade. It's episode 18. It's the year 2395. In the victory conditions, hey, we're even ahead now of the Rishithi Ancients. We have 100 years left to go in the game and an endgame crisis to prep for, so that's really what everything is about from this point on, is getting ready for the crisis and dealing with our occasional neighbors, especially the Devourers of Zrun, who've been kind of a thorn in our side the whole time, because they keep putting branch offices and creating a lot of corruption, and we have to keep burying them.
Construction complete.
A little short on exotic gases. What is this? Independence guaranteed. The Oklar conglomerate will now guarantee the independence of the new Demazanian Khanate. That's these fools down here. We finally got rid of the Khans, and these guys are down here doing that. So we're trying to crank up the jams here. Ion cannon. Is this thing ready to go? Because, oh yeah, we just got the last platform up here, so we can build an ion cannon. Yeah, show us your wares. Nope, don't need that. So what I'm going to do is build a bunch of these things. There we go. We're going to get that ready. We've got my favorite part is getting gateways everywhere that we need them.
Construction complete.
So that we can get around our empire really quick. We need to go down and take a look at our ships and make sure where our fleets are at. Oh, and then like this. Ophiel Station. This requires a... What are you doing? You have no orders? Oh, you have an order now. Jump right there. Since we're cut off here, we're going to build a gateway over here. And start to get some of that stuff taken care of. So let's see. Science ships, transports. Where's our fleets? Oh, right here. Where are you guys at? Heimet Station. Right there. Is that...
Construction complete.
I think, yeah, because that's where our mega shipyard is. Awesome. Heimet. I'm going to rename this. I'm going to rename it that. And then I'm going to rename this the War Station. That way I know. I like to do stuff like this so it makes it easy on me. I can go to my fleet ship War Station. That automatically changed. That's great. So those are ready to go. And then over here, the Groik Nexus. That's our Science Nexus, which is done, which is fantastic. We have matter decompressors and other things. We got 3 things going on right now. We got a Dyson sphere that's 91 days away from getting a stage completed. We have the matter decompressor, which is done. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't realize that was done. So the ring world is the big thing we got going on right now, and this Dyson sphere. I'm going to move back up here and I'm going to tell this fellow right here, hey, build
Construction complete.
a gateway construction site right there.
We have mastered a new technology.
I got some kind of frog in my throat. I'm really sorry about that. I don't know how that happened. My throat was fine. I sat down, decided to start doing a video, and then it's like, oh, hey, guess what? I'm going to give you trouble today. My wife was talking about people who read. She has been listening to a lot of audiobooks lately, and she's talking about people who do that job of reading those books. She's like, I don't know how they do that. Can you imagine doing that for a living? I'm like, it would be really cool. I would probably enjoy it, but I've read a chapter in a book once out loud and recorded it for something, and it was not. It was a hard thing to do. Let's see, listening post resource files. Okay, what do you got here? Dyson sphere panels. Okay, $10,000. Yeah, it was a hard thing to do. So, since we just have the Dyson sphere going, and we have this ring world, can we get another ring world going? Oh, and then lost to bureaucracy due to major clerical errors. The Veil has fallen behind infrastructure. We can do unfortunate and put sprawling slums on there. I'm all for that.
Construction complete.
We've got too many minerals. It's fine. There was something. I was building something else somewhere. Where was it? Was I building it there? No. I was gonna build like the thing. I was gonna build the thing. Darn it.
We have mastered a new technology.
I was gonna build a strategic, not the strategic coordination center, the Sentry Array site. It took 300. Can we build that? Yep. All right, mastered a new technology. Shield hit points. 10,005. It's 105,000 if I could see right. They're all the same. So let's go back to energy, weapon, attack, speed, and damage, and then let's scroll up here. I'm having a little bit of a hard time focusing on this game because the System Shock demo just came out, and I started playing that, and I am so thrilled with it. It is everything I was hoping for. I'm stunned at how good it is. Gangs clash. Oh no, what's going on here? Why are gangs clashing? Devastation. What's going on with your gangs there, buddy? Yeah, the System Shock demo is just... I can't even put it into words what it's meaning to me right now. It's something else. I'm gonna put some more these things on here. The floor is lava. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. Yeah, every small child, right? The floor is lava. An expedition was sent down into the volcanic tunnel network. Navigating the magma-scoured basalt maze will be a delicate business, as the frequent ebb and flow of lava periodically maroons the expedition deep within. When or if the end of the labyrinth is reached, there will be a long road back that needs to be traversed. Once inside, there's no way of communicating with the expedition. We can only wait. Yeah, so System Shock was one of the... For people who don't know, it's the remake of the game that came out in like 1993, and it's a game that made me want to play video games on the PC. To put it gently, I mean that's... I really gravitated toward it right away. It scared the bejesus out of me. I could only play it like an hour at a time max because of how intense it was. It would freak me out. Just a fantastic game though. And so they remade it, and there was a little bit of a problem during development, because at some point in time during the development, somebody at Night Dive decided that the best thing to do was to change the game's environments and build more of them and make them more expansive. And when they started to show the screens, people were like, that doesn't look like System Shock at all. It looks like a completely different game. Century in isolation. The Lava Labyrinth expedition is finally returned. Having reached the innermost chamber, the purpose of the magnificent complex was finally revealed. The labyrinth served as a proving ground, not for the body as much as the mind. There's the phrase in the native language scrawled repeatedly in the inner sanctum. Translation reads, the 4,444,444th turn of the tides will be the last. Nothing will withstand its rebirth. Whatever that means. It seems that a few of those who survived this deadly pilgrimage chose to return to the surface after reading it, instead giving themselves to the rivers of fire. Forceful mind. Oh, we get monthly unity plus 5% for that. The new, yeah, you guys can complain all you want. And this is the Galactic Habol Authority declared war on somebody, and borders are closed from the Devourers of Zrun. Okay. But anyway, back to the whole System Shock thing. I'm going to do a little System Shock narrative while I'm getting caught up on my worlds here. They had a little bit of a problem during development because they thought that, and I just said they
Construction complete.
they put those screenshots out, and everybody was just like, "Whoa, man, that's doesn't look like System Shock."
Construction complete.
And I can totally understand the dilemma. Like, video games have come a long ways. You get an IP, and you're thinking, we can make this better. But you gotta do it painting with the same brush. You know, it's like you gotta first, if you get the Picasso IP, you first have to learn how to paint like Picasso before you can paint new Picasso paintings. You can't go in there and say, well, we got the Picasso IP, and now we're gonna paint like Van Gogh. And people are gonna be like, but you got the Picasso IP. I was expecting more Picasso. So I think from the screenshots I saw early on, that's what had happened, is that they no longer look like Picasso. They no longer look like System Shock. And they went back to the drawing board and they said, okay, we have to do a faithful adaptation of System Shock, but that doesn't mean we have to do an exact replica of an old game. We can add new stuff to it. It just has to look like the old stuff, and it has to function like the old stuff, and it has to behave that way. And they've done it. They've knocked it out of the park. They took the core of System Shock and they did it. They took the core of System Shock and expanded on it, and what's there in the demo is amazing. It's just amazing, and I'm freaking out about it. And I'm gonna play this episode here, and then I'm gonna go back and play some more System Shock. I may do a Let's Play on that whole demo because it's that good, and I'm that excited about it. I haven't been that excited about a video game in a very, very long time. It's great. Mining world here. And then do what? You got Titanic life forms. Where is this at? Fortira 1 and 2. So you can have a sector, and let's see if we can get you somebody who... Well, crime, leader experience gain. I'd rather have that. So you're right there. That's why you're by yourself. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, so... thrilled at System Shock. Just thrilled at it. At what it is and what they've done. I'm just giddy to play the whole thing. Because, like, you know, so many games have drawn from System Shock, too, also, over the years. And of course, System Shock borrowed heavily from Doom and Quake. But, Winkwort, Artem. Oh, this is a Gaia world. We got to do something really good with this. I guess, since we're getting low on civilian industry, should we do this? We could do research, but... Well, do we want to do research here? I changed my mind. We want to do research here. Bury them in research. Although we don't need to, because Field 4, Arctic World. I'm gonna anyway. We got the ring worlds coming up, and they're the thing that I usually turn into research ring worlds and just do that. Army damage, army help without going to need. Edict duration might be nice to start getting some of those. Leader lifespan, of course, that's the thing. Yeah, so to see System Shock in the state that it is in that demo has just made me giddy, and I can't wait to play it. I've tried to play other first-person games that are similar to that, first-person shooters. The only one that's ever grabbed me as much as System Shock did was Half-Life. Half-Life was. Please note that the may contain traces of Vengrelian waste stickers only indicate that the product is produced in facilities that also handle Vengrelian waste, not that the product itself. What? Oh my gosh, that's funny. I've never seen that before. Oh god, that slayed me. Yeah, Half-Life, especially Half-Life 2, is probably my favorite first-person shooter of all time, single player, because it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And the gravity gun, of course, is a really fun angle on the whole game. but it's just a really well done game. And I really enjoy... I've played Bioshock 1 and 2, and I like those games a lot too. But they never had the feeling of System Shock to me. I mean, they did so many things great, and they did them differently. And I really liked everything that they did. But System Shock... it's just a special... it's a special game. It's a special game. And I always felt like... with System Shock, I always felt like that's one of the games I point to when people say, what do you think, what game would make a good movie? Because it sure as hell isn't Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is a video game, and every time they keep trying to shoehorn it into a movie, it's really hard for me. I have a pretty good suspension of disbelief system at work, but I can't do it with Mortal Kombat. It's a video game. It's just, it's so corny when they try to make it into a movie. It's so corny. But there are really good video games that would make some really cool movies. And if video games and movies ever figure it out, I hope somebody does someday. I don't want to see a shot-for-shot remake of a video game in a movie. I don't want to just watch the cutscenes. I can do that on YouTube. I can splice them together myself. I want to see a film take a really cool video game and make an awesome movie out of that property. That's totally unrelated to the video game almost. It's the environment and the ideas that count. And then you put some good characters in there and give them really good actors and a really good script and let them chew on it. System Shock is one of those games to me that's always seemed like it would be a great Die Hard movie. It's totally set up to be that way. It's Die Hard in space. It's John McClane on a space station waking up and being like, what the F happened? You know, that's what it is. And it's got some great twists and turns in it. Scientific revolution came off, and so did living metal mega construction. Okay. And so, because of the twists and turns and because of the different things that go on, it's one of those games I think would make a really cool movie if you got the script in the right people's hands. And I think Shodan as an antagonist could be really awesome. Other games that I think would make really, really cool movies is, I think, Fallout's obvious. I mean, we've already seen films that do something like that really good. We've seen Mad Max. The Book of Eli certainly is a classic example of that. The Book of Eli is a really good example. And The Book of Eli was written by Gary Whitta, who used to be the editor for PC Gamer, who loves Fallout. So that makes all the sense in the world. I think if you did a Fallout film, not trying to just copy what's going on in the video game, do something else with it. I think you could make a hell of a film out of that. The Native Life is built on the epic scale. Yeah, we saw that. The question now and there is, what is their secret can benefit from? Issue Special Project Titanic Life Study. Issue Special Project Titanic Life Necropsy's Delicious Titans modifier, giving the following effect: max agricultural districts, food from jobs, Titan Hunter jobs. Oh, jeez. Study them, harvest them, and see if anything is useful. And this option is available because we are fanatic xenophobes. Oh, well, so this would be the role-playing one to do, so that would be correct. That would be the correct thing to do. I would normally choose the other thing and research them, but to stick with our role-playing, since we're, xenophobe isolationists, let's do that. That makes the most sense. So yeah, Fallout's one of those things I think could make a really good movie. If you got it in the hand of somebody who knew what they were really doing. And it's the same way with System Shock for me. I think System Shock could be fantastic. It would make a really good Die Hard type of movie. I would love to see that.
We have mastered a new technology.
But to see it in all its glory now, with what Night Dive Studios is doing, I'm I'm kind of blown away. I'm also very happy about this. This has been amazing. I hope you all have enjoyed this series as much as I have. This has surprised the heck out of me. It's like I finally figured out how to play Inward Perfection and not suck at it. And this has been really cool. This has been really cool. It's a different way to play. I've said that before on this series. The big thing, and somebody on Twitter rephrased it way better than I did, and they said it's the lack of interaction with the rest of the galaxy. You are to a large degree just staying here and worrying about yourself, although we're split across the donut. We've only really had to worry about our enemies when it's been the Devourers of Zrun. And let's shut them out. Can we shut them out? Close borders, bye-bye. You guys don't need to be here. Bye-bye. You don't need to be here. And who are you guys? The Demazanian Braves? Bye-bye. Where are you? What are you called? The Demazanian Braves. Where are you on this list? I don't see you. New Demazanian Braves. And I want to close the borders.
We have mastered a new technology.
Demand tribute. Declare rivalry, make claims, insult. Open. I don't want to open borders. Why are they allowed? Why are they in my space over here? You shouldn't be anywhere near my space. Raiding fleet. Who are these clowns? Who are they going to go raid? Well, it's not us. It's somebody else, but still. Lamo. How are we doing over here with this ring world? It's obviously it's going to take forever, but oh, 485 days now. Awesome. Okay, anywhere that's running out of jobs, let's go look there. What do we have here? Bribed officials, and I want to keep an eye on corporate. That's the thing I got to keep an eye on. Oh, they're starting to build. Who is this? Temple of Prosperity. Spiritualist Ethics, the Devourers of Zrun. Okay. Who do they have for allies? They are at war with the Galactic Cavrol Authority. They have a defensive pact with the Bothrian Combine. That's these guys up here, and that's kind of the problem. So I might have to... I know what we need to do. We need a few more planets with a lot of strongholds on them. For instance, our research is 10k. Gateway constructed. So the gateway is constructed in that site, so we can tell this one to come down here to main. There we go. And we get that trade. So let's do some of this. This is one of those candidates. It's like there's only 3 buildings on it right now with research. I think I might just replace them and do this. Stronghold. Because the ring world's going to come online, and when it does, those generally become all. So I'm going to say soldiers. That's what I usually say for those. And I've got more minerals than I know what to do with. So, but we're building only what? 2? Here's the thing. Once the ring world comes online, each segment counts as a separate megastructure. So even though I can do 3 megastructures at a time, I really can't. This thing's getting online. It's over here, and it's 300 days remaining. It's got just under a year. The galactic community. We need to raise some of this. So what do we have? Change council size to 4. What about resolutions? Can we do the greater good? Charter of Workers' Rights is active. 5-year plans. We are in breach of this resolution. Basic subsistence living standard is banned. Okay, but I still already has a pending resolution. What's our pending resolution? We have a pending one?
We have mastered a new technology.
You guys need to get to work on all this. You need to get to work. We're just going to let all this stuff build up now. Terraforming has been completed. Main Coons, go send our people over there in orbit around Mega Shipyard. Oh, currently in orbit around Mega Shipyard. That's because they got locked into this other world up here. There was no way for them to get here. I see. So they're going to do this. I think. was supposed to be Ophiel. They didn't have one, so now they're going to go here. So we can tell Ophiel again, colonize with this person, because now we have a gateway. Now they'll get there. Now they will actually get there. Alright, so do we have anybody else sitting around doing nothing? I know we do. Got a couple of construction ships down here. Yep. That's the megastructure one, that's the Ringworld one, and this is a megastructure one as well. Okay, but
We have mastered a
I'm going to
new
put you to
technology.
work over here. So what I want to do is start getting more worlds set up like this. So just so that we can bump this number up, naval capacity, really big, and start building some more fleets. Yep, like right here. Stronghold. You got a little bit of criming going on. Okay, let's fix that first. What do you got here? Research, it says. Armor, hit points, or defense platform damage. Let's do that because of the crisis that's going to be bearing down on us at some point in time in the future. This is another one of those planets we could do. Let's do that too. Let's do soldier jobs here. Let's do soldier jobs here because we just need more. We gotta have more. I gotta have more than 4 fleets, and because of these bozos. See, there's a spot over here, and there's a way in over here, and they could come across here. Devourers of Zerun. So we need more fleets to protect our backside and our front side and our side. So yeah, you got to do this. You got to upgrade. Dyson Sphere panels installed. All right, let's go check that out. Oh, you're looking pretty now, aren't you? Very nice. Very, very nice. Like that.
Construction complete.
Very, very nice on that one. Yeah, so I need at least 3 fleets up in here. And then there's a spot here and a spot here, so I need 2 fleets there. So 5 would give me a chance to control all my choke points and then move fleets in there. 6 would be even better. 6 full fleets would be even better. So that's what we do. This is going to be Food World for a little while. We're going to do this. You might as well just do all of those as well. Ophiel. The Veil says, hey, give me some people growth there. You guys can have
We have claimed a new world.
mining worlds. Great. We've claimed a new world. Sentry array hub assembled. Stay over here on the side of the screen. We're going to roll down here and give you that. We're going to say tech world. Generator world, I mean, not tech. We're going to go do that. Sentry ray. Look, I love it when I have so much stuff I can just start clicking in and I don't have to worry about anything. Alright. And that's building. That's wonderful. We're in a really good position. Wow, stuff. Mablar says, I don't have any room for any more people in housing, and that's good because you can go about -10 and that's fine. So here's the ring world. Great. Now we can go say ring section A. Complete that sucker. Oh, due to immense requirements. Okay. We'll come back and get those other ones in a little bit. Energy weapon damage. Grenade. You guys are going to be a little short of housing, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. So what I'm going to do is raise all this stuff up, and then you'll just be done. It'll just be a done planet. In other really, really sad news this week, and this is going to be several weeks behind for you now by the time you see this. Yeah, they canceled Anthem, which is supremely disappointing to me because I love that game. I think the gameplay, the flight, the combat, the grenades and the gunplay and all of that, that's my favorite action game of all time. Being able to fly in the suit, the world they created, the graphics, the beauty of it, it's amazing. But they didn't deliver any content beyond launch date. Really, I mean, virtually nothing. 3 dungeons is not enough to make a game like that work long term. You have to have a plan for releasing content. Massively multiplayer online role-playing games like EverQuest and World of Warcraft taught us those lessons. You know, so they didn't have a plan beyond that. It's really sad. It's sad to me because I think that game had more potential to be awesome and have a really long, awesome life than any other game I've ever played, short of MMOs. I mean, it was just incredible. And they botched the plan, you know. They botched the release plan. Here's what gets me about that, being a software developer myself, who works on business applications, you know, which aren't sexy, but one of the things is you have to have a plan in place for delivering content. And I don't know if their code base and their tools was the problem, and it made it difficult for them to generate the new content, because they needed to be able to provide new dungeons, and they needed to be able to provide new loot and new challenges and keep up in the level cap and doing all those things that you have to do progressively in a looter shooter. And they didn't do any of that. And I kept wondering, are your tools and the code base for this and the dev environment just so hard to work with that it makes it impossible for you guys to do that? I'd love to do a postmortem with those guys and figure out what the heck went wrong, because I think it would be fascinating. We know the development itself was troubled, and that they, for a long time, the game originally started as what was going to be you and 3 of your friends in more of a survival game, and you were going to, your suits were going to be upgraded by flying around and gathering components from the crashed wrecks around there and things like that. It was going to be much more a survival game, and then it turned into a looter shooter.
Construction complete.
They had problems with direction, because you have to have somebody with a central voice and a central vision for your project, and they have to be the guiding force, because everybody takes their cues from them all the way down the pipeline. They take their cues from that person, and if the vision at the top keeps shifting, the guys down on the bottom can't get anything done. They can't get anything meaningful done. They can make all the demos they want to in the world, but at some point in time, you have to actually build something worthwhile. So it was it was troubling in the development, and they still managed to create an amazing product. I mean, yeah, there were problems at launch. EA's servers, we all know EA sucks. Thank you. Those of us who've been playing Madden forever know that, you know. So that was not a surprise. How big is this thing? Alien Menace. Can you get it? You're not very big, but you're there, and you don't have. Can you get there fast enough to kill this thing? Who can get there faster? Oh yeah, there's a gateway right there. Go over here and pick one of these fleets. One of these gigantic, gargantuan fleets, and get it over here and say, hey, go get this thing. But yeah, Anthem is incredible. For a game that was that much fun, and to log on and play with your friends and constantly leveling up and getting loot. I mean, for the first 30, 40, 50 hours of that game were amazing. And then we all hit the cap and we're like, okay, well, you know, in order to get the really good loot, we're going to have to grind. Well, you always expect to do a little grinding in those games, but they had problems there in the beginning where the good loot just wasn't dropping. And they finally changed their opinion about how that was going to be implemented, and they made that better. So that was nice. And you could see them making changes to the game, you know, and improving things. And then that whole roadmap they had for this is going to come out and this is going to come out and there's going to be a cataclysm and all that stuff. And most of it didn't happen. And I kept thinking, oh man, you guys, sorry about that with the microphone bumped my hand. I just kept thinking, you have a chance
We have
here.
mastered a new
If you
technology.
just keep deploying progression, you have a chance here to do something really amazing. I mean, I've been a long time EverQuest 1 and EverQuest 2 player, and then I finally quit a few years ago. And even still, EverQuest 2, like 15 years in or however long it was still releasing an expansion a year, a full expansion every year. And I was thinking to myself when I got back into playing it after a long break, like after I had left when it was the level cap was like level cap 70, and I came back when the level cap was 100. And I had all kinds of catching up to do. And I was thinking, that's the only way to make these games last like this is you gotta keep releasing content, and you gotta keep releasing
We have mastered a new technology.
progressions. You have to do that. And if you don't do that, a game that requires people to be online and work in groups is gonna eventually die, and it might die sooner rather than later. And twinks, people twinking out and starting new characters and new classes and new races and all that stuff, that can give a game some life, but that's no substitute for proper progression content. That's the thing you have to do. There's I have a thing there. Zeta Reticuli. I'd like to grab the 79 trade and the 62 trade from there. So somewhere along here, and this one's a bastion because it's got a gateway on it. But I don't think that bastion is actually that necessary. But if you were going to grab the trade, you'd have to go 1, 2, 3. You'd have to change 4 of these to trade hubs to get it. That might be worth it actually, right there. Let's Leviathan defeated. Ooh, good for them. What system was that in? Right there? Well, good for you guys. Because we're going to be coming for you soon. We're going to be coming for it. I should probably start construction of a new fleet here. And we actually have one to work with. The fourth fleet. Because, so technically we're 1, 2, 3, and then Dreadnought fleet. Okay. So let's add some designs to this. We need a Titan. How many Titans can I have? 3 of 6. Penetrator battleships. All the different battleships. Some point defense cruisers. And a bunch of penetrator corvettes. Okay.
We have mastered a new technology.
And then let's do this. What happened here? Got some stuff happening. Let's go 40,000. Nice. Build those. Completed upgrade of the Sentry Spire and the Dandar system. We did. The Sentry Spire's ready to go? That's it. Oh no, it's got the next phase. Okay. It's got the next phase it's got to go to. And all of a sudden we're down to low alloys. Because that's what happens when you tell it to build a big gigantic fleet like that. How are we doing on this ring world section A over here? 600 days. So I got that, and I got the Dyson Sphere. And Dandar's there, so the Dyson Sphere is over here. Yep. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. And what we can do is say, hey, tear some of that money down. This is going to jack the price up.
We have
Doink.
claimed a new world for our people.
Doink. Alright. Oh, let's see about this first. Oh. Hold on. I got that. Get that off screen. The entire surface of Hamam 1 is scarred by long, shallow canals. They cross and recross each other haphazardly with no apparent logic. It is yet uncertain. Okay. Well, keep going then. Right here. Give me all your robot assembly plants. This is going to be a great mining world. Excellent. Okay. Ships are being transported. What is this thing over here? Pirate fleet. Is there any kind of...
We have claimed a new world for our people.
There's no more Leviathans to defeat, is there? None for us anyways. Ooh, food and tech. Well, when the ring worlds kick in, we're going to need this aggro. Although the other thing is you can always take one of your ring sections and turn that into an aggro. And it feeds a lot of people really quick. Which is nice. I've been very rambly this episode, and I blame System Shock. But it's just, when you watch a game that you've been following for that long, you've been like, oh man, I can't wait for that to become reality, because it meant so much to me at the time, way back in the early 90s, because it was so awesome and it scared the pants off me, and it made me rethink how video games could function, especially first-person shooters, because up to then really all we had was Doom, you know, and it was like, there's Doom, but I couldn't get into Doom. It didn't entertain me. I didn't like it. It was like run around and shoot things, big deal. I wanted more, and I wanted a story, and I wanted scary corners, and I wanted to go slow and not try to go as fast as possible, and I didn't want it to be so frenetic, and I wanted the darkness and the looting containers and the reading logs and all that stuff that System Shock provided. But when you watch a remake like that happen for so long, and you think, oh, there's so many ways they could screw this up, and for a while it looked like they were gonna, so you kind of have to temper your expectation. And then for it to the demo to finally get released and have it exceed your expectations. How many times in our lives do things exceed our expectations? I mean, gosh, I grew up on Star Wars as a kid. Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and then went 20-some years without any more Star Wars. I got so excited when I saw that first trailer for Phantom Menace. I'm like, yes! And then the movie happened. And then, dummy me. Clone Wars. Oh, this looks awesome.
New technology.
Dummy me. And I continue to get fooled. I was like, oh, Rise of Skywalker. Looks like it might be great. No. It was terrible. God, it was so bad. Oh my God. Out of the latest trilogy, the only thing I liked was The Last Jedi. I mean, because I thought they did an amazing job with the story and the characters there, and with subverting people's expectations. There was at least that, you know. I was like, oh, finally showing us the consequences of actions and things like that. Finally, a little depth to Star Wars. But then JJ just came on and was like, nah, we're just gonna undo all that. We're gonna undo that really cool setup. It's like, oh, so. When it comes to media, when it comes to books and novels and TV shows and all these things, when you see so many setbacks for your expectations so rarely get met or exceeded, for something like the System Shock demo to come along and completely exceed my expectations by a long ways, is kind of crazy. It seems like lately, in the last few years, the only things that have really exceeded my expectations have been TV shows, and I think that's only because my expectations have been so low to begin with. I've never been a big fan of television shows. I mean, I've liked a few things, but I'm not into TV the way other people are into TV. And then things like The Queen's Gambit come along, and it's like, what the hell? You can do this with TV? And Godless came along, another 7-episode miniseries on Netflix, and I was like, you can do this with TV? So having your expectations exceeded is such a great feeling. But video games so rarely do that anymore. You know, we get big AAA titles that let us down, or have bugs. And I mean, I loved Cyberpunk, and I played through it 3 times, but obviously console players had problems. So for them, it's a giant letdown. It's not even close to their expectations. And we've seen that with a number of games. No Man's Sky pumped up all these giant expectations, didn't live up to any of them. Several years later, it's a much better game, but I still don't think it's the game that it could be. I don't play it a lot anymore because, to me, it's not No Man's Sky, it's No Man's Planet. Everything that they've done has been done to make the planet's interesting, and to make basically to make resource gathering on planets okay, but the space part of it hasn't changed from day one, and it's still boring, and the pirates are still boring, and bounty hunting is still boring, and the freighters are still meaningless, and there's no big wars. And I'm just like, you know what, you're flying in space in No Man's Sky is basically the same thing as fast traveling in The Witcher. It's like, oh, it's like grabbing the horse and going somewhere in The Witcher. It's like, well, what happens between here and the next village is almost meaningless. It's just, I'm on the horse, big deal. You're in your spaceship, whoop-de-doo. Everything that's interesting is on the planets, and they have such an opportunity to do some really cool things in space, and they haven't done it. So I don't have a lot of hope for that game ever improving the space part of it.
Construction complete.
It still has a chance to be an awesome game, but gosh, it seems like the development is more focused on creating jukeboxes, and it's like, that comes down again to directorial vision. It comes down to a person at the top having an idea for what they think a game can be and should be, and when you basically want to turn your video game into another copy of Beats, Beats by Dre, it's like, dude, your game is called No Man's Sky. You might want to think about getting the sky part of that involved and not worry so much about creating a jukebox or, a DAW, a digital audio workstation. It's like, forget about that stuff. Make the game. Make the game that you can make,
Construction complete.
Figure out what you're doing really well and do that. That's a life lesson right there, actually. Figure out what you do really well and then do it. Exceed at it better than anybody. I've been playing guitar for 30 years now, and I will never be John Petrucci. I just won't. I can't play like that. I've tried it. I've done all the things. I've played with a metronome. I've slowed it down. I've sped it up. I've worked on my technique. I've done everything possible. I will never be that player. But I can do Jerry Cantrell crossed with David Gilmour pretty good. That's my wheelhouse. It's like, okay, if I'm just left to my own devices, that's what I sound like. So figure out how to make that work. And that's what I've spent the last several years doing, is just trying to figure out how to be the best version of me as a guitar player and not my idols. It's like, I'll just never play like John Petrucci. I'll never play like Doug Ott. Doug Ott is probably my favorite guitar player. I'm never going to play like him. And it's sad to say that, but that's the truth. It's like, you're never going to be that guy. So don't worry about it. What can you be? And I mean, Jerry Cantrell's awesome, for Christ's sake. And so's David Gilmour. They're awesome. I mean, I'm not Gilmour, but that's the kind of thing I like to do, is I like to bleed the notes and pour as much emotion into them as I can. It's like, I'd love to be able to play fast, and I'd love to be able to play fast and clean like Petrucci, because when he goes emotional, like at the end of Octavarium and at the end of 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, when he goes emotionally, he still has all that fast technique to help just push it over the edge. And it's so brilliant the way he plays doing that. But I don't have those tools, so I gotta figure out what I'm good at and do those things. But it feels like so many game developers don't have that figured out either. It's like, you need to figure out what your game does really well and do that. Paradox, fortunately, has figured it out with Stellaris for the most part, and continues to make... Here's the cool thing about Stellaris. This is how you know a game works. Uninstall all the DLC and play it. Can you have a good time? I've played this game without any DLC. In fact, I just did, I think that newbie tutorial series I did for 2.7 was without any DLC installed. I had a blast. The DLC adds a ton, and the DLC is great, and I love... It's hard for me to play without megastructures, and it's hard for me to play without a lot of other things, but because I enjoy them so much. But the base game is really fun. The base game here is brilliant, and that's the truth with a lot of games. They do their one thing and they do it really well. And those are the kinds of developers we need to be seeing you, dude. Yeah. Pat on the back. You get my money. Please keep doing more of it. And Night Dive Studios figured out what System Shock did really well and said, we're going to do more of that. Okay, so the first Ring World section is ready to go. And we're going to go over here and we're going to call this Ring A. Actually, let's see, what am I going to do? I'm going to call this Ring A1. I'm going to start labeling these this time so that I can have a little bit better...
we have mastered a new technology.
A little bit better naming scheme. I've always been a little disappointed in my naming scheme. So what I'm going to do is there's Ring... Complete that one. The Sentry Array site is still being worked on. Nope. So we got that. Because one of them's not being worked on. The Dyson Sphere or the Sentry Array. Yeah, not the Sentry Arrays. Not being worked on. So the partial Dyson Sphere. Oh. Let's get you up. So now we got 2 Ring Worlds and the Dyson Sphere. And we still have part of the Sentry Array left to go. And you are going to move to here, and we'll build the next Ring World over there. Okay, so Scum and Villainy over here on Wasat, and it's because... Corporate? Yeah, okay. It's time to go to war against these bozos. And this is neat. We were going to see what we could do for... I was going to see how much trade I could put on one world. We're going to do this, in fact. Let's do this. Okay, we're going to have to go to war with these guys. So let's get ready to do that at the end of this episode here. Let's get started. The Dizanian Gloobers. And how much do we have right now? They're 230. I'm gonna fill that whole planet with those, with clerk jobs, and we're going to see what we can do. Just for an individual planet. I'm curious about the numbers. So the Devourers of Zurun. Okay, well, you guys, we're going to have to go to war with you again. Declare war, expel corporation. Impose ideology would be kind of nice. In the event of a status quo peace, systems we occupy will be released. I really want to expel their corporations again, though. Anybody else? Nope. Okay.
We have declared war on the abominable Xenos.
Because that's what they are. They're abominable. All right. What do we have here? You need a leader. You're a brand new guy. So what do you get? Ship upkeep, leader cost, leader lifespan. Well, you gotta choose one. Okay, go in here. So now we're gonna come over here and pick some people. I want you to go here. And let's see. You can go where? This is the Bothran right here. Yeah, go there. And the next guy who's not busy can go here. And the next guy who's not busy can go where? Right there. Okay. Let's go. It's wartime. It's time to make war. This is why I tell people, when you want my tutorial series, go look out the ones that say tutorial. Otherwise, you're going to get a whole hour of me rambling about System Shock and games that get made into movies and Star Wars and a whole bunch of other unrelated things to Stellaris. It's been a rambly day. But I don't feel bad about that. I need a few episodes like that every now and then. Okay, where are you guys at? Right there. Rising unemployment on main prime. Yeah. And I don't want to worry about the unemployment, because what's going to happen is we're going to move everybody over. We're going to resettle everybody once the Ring World's available and it has jobs. So let's see. Do we still have a resolution going? The Greater Good. 5-year plans. Already has a pending resolution. Which one's ours? Oh, it's going to say right here. Change council size to 4. Oh, the Ketling Star Pack created that. And what's this? Main Kun Isolations. Repeal. Can we withdraw? Yes. Because what I want to do is this. 5-year plans. You're in breach of this resolution. Basic subsistence living standards are banned. Okay, that's fine. I don't care about that because what I want to do is go to... Let's see. Main cool. Can we modify that template at all? Oh, we can. We can. Okay, pop goods consumer upkeep. Pop growth speed. Hold on, there's a bunch of interesting stuff down here, isn't this? Researcher output plus 20%. Yeah, so if we take this erudite, it's going to cost us 4. Then what else? Empire sprawl from pops. Pop consumer goods upkeep. What else we got left? Pop growth speed. That costs 4, which we don't have. Resources from jobs plus 5%. Cannot generate leaders. Oh no, we don't want a newer stapler, guys. We don't want to worry about that. Pop growth from immigration. I don't want to care about. Pop housing usage. I don't care about. Many needs from jobs. Unity from jobs. We don't have a lot of Unity jobs, so that's like not important. What I would like to do maybe here with the last slot is go natural physicist, because I would like my physics leaders. Those are your energy weapons and your shields, and at least with the energy weapons, it's a huge boost in getting ready for the crisis. You know. We don't know if our enemies are going to need shields or not, so that's a consideration. It's probably not the thing I'm going to do. Pop housing usage. What else? Leader lifespan. Pop consumer goods upkeep. What are my other options here? Fertile. We can't get that because of the choice cost. Never staple. Don't want. Delicious. I definitely don't want. Wasteful. I don't want. Defense army damage, don't care about. Decadent, definitely don't care about. Fleeting, I definitely don't care about. Venerable, leader lifespan, plus 80 years. That's nice, but it costs 4. Governing ethics attraction. So something that would cost me 2, but I don't really, there's nothing here that costs 2 that I want. Resettlement costs minus 25%. That might be kind of important. Let's do that. We're going to do that. I'm going to create those guys. I'm going to say, apply this template to everybody.
Situation log updated.
And then what we're going to say is, set rights, decent conditions, basic subsistence. So we're in violation because of who? Basic subsistence. Oh, so if we change them to decent conditions. And the new bale, we need to create a template for you guys. Can we get rid of this? Slow breeders. We can add something else like pop consumer upkeep minus 10. Yes, we're going to create that. We can't do anything with you yet on that. Set rights to them. Decent conditions. And what about you, Awoken? Set rights. Decent conditions. This is going to cost us. Because I don't want to be in species with unspent trait points. We'll get them spent here in a little bit. Declare war with the devourers of punk. Right. So, my friend, what do you want to do here? Slog on up in there. We've got 1K and 2K minerals. If I go to minerals and I say, oops, do like this. What's that going to cost us every month? Because here's the thing. Oops, I did that wrong one too. Clicky to click, click, click. Yeah, this is going to cost us. That's fine.
Construction complete.
What I want to know is how much money I'm going to have. Because what I'd like to do is spend my cash on something else.
hostile Xeno fleet detected.
Really? You think so? Because I know it's going to cost us to go way over this number, but I'd like to build a second fleet. I mean, a sixth fleet. We have 5 right now. I'd like to build one more. It's been a heck of an episode. It's been an hour. So, let's call it good here. At 24:06 is the year. Thanks for watching, everybody. As always. Hope you dig the episode. Hope you dig the channel. Subscribe, like, leave a question or comment down below. My Patreon's listed below. I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.